at me that you're like, you know someone who's gay very well.
Yes.
So
I think we've all been there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you do.
yeah, you do.
Yeah, God, I wish all parents were like you.
Oh,
Now you know what I mean when I say, do you remember when I told you
Yes.
that
Yes, you did.
this was the best case scenario? This was
Yep.
the kind of thing that we hoped was always going to happen when somebody came out.
Yes.
And clearly from the conversations that we've had at PFLAG meetings and the friends that Sean has, we've really seen how the family's rising to the top here. And there are lots of other families that don't want their kids to talk about it. It's a non-issue.
Right.
The kids are afraid that if they talk about it at home, they'll no longer be supported to go to college, they'll be kicked out, they hear derogatory remarks at home all the time.
and it's one thing to think of those things in theory, because Sean did think about all those things. What if this happens? What if that happens? But once he was out and started to have friends that were in the gay community and started to date boys, and here's that, well, this boy was thrown out of his house, and this kid has a friend that got beat up by a stepdad, and
Yeah.
it's pretty horrifying.
It
and
is, yeah.
I never in a million years thought that my happy-go-lucky, normal, very average family could hurt someone else so much. And when these boys come to our house and see that, yes, you're welcome here, and yeah, you can sit there and hold hands, and it doesn't bother us, and it ends up hurting them, and then that hurts us, and that's a process that we're going through. But it's been a big transition. It's been 16 months, which is a long time, and so much has happened in that time. And we're definitely better for it, for sure.
But
And our family is so happy.
even with all the stuff that sounds so good here, it was still a struggle.
Yes, it was. Well, it was a struggle just to find you guys. I didn't even know they existed until I read in a book. My poor son, he's such a good boy. That very first night, I said, well, geez, now I'm going to have to become an expert on this subject, Sean. And he says, wait right there. And he goes upstairs to his room, and he brought down he worked at our public library. He worked at the Otis Library. He brought down a stack of books. There had to be at least 8 books on being gay.
Here you go.
And I said, oh, that's a lot of reading. And the poor kid, they were really very much for the gay person, how to come out, what they were struggling with. They were not for your mama. They were definitely not what I needed to read. I tried to read one, and I said, this is just too much too soon. Thank you for trying to get these, but I need a memoir. I need something light and fluffy with some humor, because that's where I am right now. And that's sort of where I started, with baby steps, and I've read a lot on the subject. And I'm actually going, I mentioned to you in the car, but we're going as a family to True Colors.
Nice.
Up at UConn. So I just registered this week. We're very excited about that. And Sean has friends at UConn who will be working at it. He has another friend from Eastern who's presenting. So it's nice for him to be involved in that community. And
And I
He's
told
doing
her
great.
she's gonna
her
go
first time.
there. Yes,
it is. I'm very
It's a wonderful
excited.
experience.
Yeah,
really
and
am.
she's gonna have. She and Tim are both gonna, and Sean too.
Yeah.
Everybody's gonna have a
Yeah.
really
Looking
great
forward to it.
time. There's nothing like being in an environment where you know that everyone is there to support you.
Yes.
It takes
It's
about
overwhelming.
15 minutes, I think, to sweep away any fear or apprehension you have.
Right.
Yeah, and it's a really wonderful
We're
feeling.
looking forward
yeah.
to it.
I used to, when I was the advisor for the Gay Straight Alliance at Ledyard High School, I used to take my kids there every year, and it was the highlight of the school year to be able to go.
Sure.
And a lot of the kids had never been in an environment where all the people who were there were supporters.
Right.
So it was something for them to look at and say, this is my goal, to find my life in a place where I have all of these people around me who are going to support me, and I'm not going to be made fun of or denied something that I should be able to have freely and that sort of
Right.
thing.
Yeah.
I think we're going to take a call.
We do actually
and then
have
we'll come
a-
back.
Yeah, we're going to run out of time pretty quick here, but good evening, NLC Trends. You're on the air.
Hi, it's Kate.
Hi,
I
Kate.
just wanted to say what a beautiful program this is tonight.
Thank
Barbara and Kathy, I'm so glad you're able to speak
Hi,
what
Kate.
PFLAG is all about. Hi. I'm happy that this is the kind of program that I'm hoping everybody is watching tonight. Thank you so much for being there.
Oh, thank you, Kate.
Thanks, Kate.
Not a problem.
It's so nice
Have
to
a
hear
great
from you.
night.
Thank you. Bye. Kate is wonderful. Kate's been on the show, and we hope we'll come back on again. Of course, you know Kate. Yes.
From the- right, Kate
Alliance for
Raimondi
Living.
from the
We
Alliance
love,
for
We
Living.
love the Alliance for Living, and
Yeah.
Kate and Sandy are wonderful, and they've been really good to us, and we.
But as you said, before we run out of time,
yes.
we want to talk about Hands Against Hate and the Human Library
Yes.
Project.
Yes. Which
Yes.
we're going to be part of.
Yeah, we're so excited about this. This group, Hands Against Hate, is a coalition of representatives from a lot of different organizations that are affiliated with some sort of prejudice issue. There are people from the Council on American Islamic Relations, people from the Jewish Federation, member of the Alliance for Living, PFLAG, and then there are concerned citizens in the group, and we meet at the Groton Public Library, and the group was originally formed in response to some hate crimes.
Sure.
And then they ran a film festival to try to raise people's level of awareness about some issues. And the latest project that this group is doing, and I'm sitting in on the group as a representative of PFLAG, is this whole it's called the Human Library Project. They just changed their name from the Living Library to the Human Library
Okay.
Project.
Yeah.
And it's a project that was started in Europe, and it's been run all over the world. And if people want to learn more about it, all they have to do is Google Human Library Project, and then they have pages and pages and pages of really interesting stuff. But essentially what happens is people, like yourselves, become books. And the public can come in and they can participate in the project by getting a library card and signing out a book. And when you sign out the book, you get to have a personal conversation, one-on-one, one-on-two, with this person who is really different from you. And somebody who's never met a transgendered person is going to be really excited about being able to have an open and honest conversation, non-threatening, no expectations, just,
Sure.
I always wondered what it was like, to talk to somebody. Kathy and I were talking about a woman who signed on to be publicly fat. And, oftentimes the books are people who've been discriminated against or misunderstood. And so here's an opportunity to help people to understand. And she said, that's really pretty interesting. It's the first time I've ever been publicly fat. And then she started laughing and saying, well, obviously I've been publicly fat, because I go about my business every day.
Right.
But that to talk to somebody and really sort of help you to understand what a person who's really fat has to go through day in and day out, and